Amazing. So let's kick off. So, what is Aura? Well, I guess in a sentence, we are the UK's biggest and our members tell us friendliest volunteer-led community exclusively for client-side insight teams. So, I guess a couple of things to call out in there. This is not an insight community that agencies can be part of. This is exclusively for client-side insight teams, which means that it's really a safe space to connect with people who do similar types of work to you and leverage the experience and knowledge of people who are in other client-side insight teams. And because we're volunteer-led, it means that the people who look after Aura and run Aura all have full-time roles in other insight roles in other companies. So we're super passionate about the community, and it means that the type of content that we put out is really tailored to what we know people who do similar roles to us will find beneficial. We have teams from that range from one-person teams to 20 plus person insight teams primarily based in the UK, but we have about a quarter of our organisations who have global remits, a really wide industry spectrum, and we have over 900 individual members that make up the community. So that's from about 200 organisations. And then in terms of who those member organisations are, this is really just to give you a flavour of the spectrum of organisations that are a part of the community. But we have organisations that are public, also private organisations that are D2C versus B2B brands, big and small. So there's a real spectrum of experiences and business models that our members find really helpful to learn from. There's probably other brands from your sector, but also a lot of the value that we get from the community is really kind of leveraging the knowledge from seeing a question from an alternative perspective that you might not have considered from a brand in another sector too. So in terms of the Aura team, as I said, Aura is volunteer-led. So the six directors at the top there make up the leadership team of Aura. So we've got Ruth, who works at View Cinemas, and she's our chair. We've got Stephen, who works at Leeds Building Society, who looks after events. Me, as I said, Dr. Martins, and I look after member growth. We've got Irena from OVO who looks after member engagement on the community. We've got Astrid who's joining us today, who has been a volunteer in the member growth team for quite some time now, but we've recently welcomed Astrid to the leadership team to look after finance. And we've got Louise from BT Group who looks after industry outreach. And then we do have three contractors who support our kind of business as usual running. So we've got Julia on the call who looks after marketing. We've got Tom who opens up all of our events. So you might have seen him if you've joined an event before. And we've got Richard who runs finance and accounts. So these are the friendly faces that make up the Aura team behind the scenes. And then final slide from me before I hand over to Astrid and Bogdan is to really just, I guess, on one page, kind of give an overview as to what the membership includes. So membership to Aura is an annual subscription, and the price is standard, so it's £650 for the year plus VAT, and that price is for one organisation, which gives you up to four places. Um, as part of that, you can add on additional people to that if you have a big team, and that's an extra £50 per person. So, in terms of what the membership includes, we have a series of online events over the year and we make a commitment to have at least 12. So, on average, about once a month, although it tends to be quite a bit more than that. But we promise at least 12. We also have at least four in-person events or seminars or workshops, and they are spread across the UK, but lots in London, and we also try and run some in Manchester and Leeds. You'll also get access to our member forum, which is essentially an online forum where Aura members can post questions that they might have where they want to seek advice or recommendations. And Bogdan's going to take you through that in more detail. So you might have a research brief and you're looking for an agency to kind of help answer that, or you might want some support on certain methodology recommendations. There's a whole host of questions that you can ask. We also have an online knowledge hub, which is where we save all of our historic events and presentations. So you can dive in, I think, as far back as 2017. So there's hundreds and hundreds of case studies, thought leadership pieces to kind of delve into as and when. We also offer free tickets to the Quirks event in London, which a lot of our members really value. I can't remember what the price of that is, but it's not insignificant. So even that alone is quite a big benefit to a lot of people. And then we also have an annual Aura Awards dinner where we celebrate some of the greatest pieces of work across our industry, both client side and agencies. And so, as part of being an Aura member, we invite you to that, and it's a really great event and opportunity to kind of reflect on the type of work we do and the value that we bring to our organizations. So, with that, I am going to hand over to Astrid to take you through some of the benefits of the membership. So, over to you, Astrid.
Thank you. So my name is Astrid Petit and I work for Principality Building Society. We are a team of 3, so quite a small one. And when I joined the team, we were already a member. So it was, I didn't really think about having to join, but it was during the pandemic. We didn't have any contact with anybody else. So the webinar were almost like a lifeline for me. One, to learn about um, the industry, but also to network. And I found that over the last 4.5 years, I wanted to be more involved with Aura, because I met loads of people, whether it's the face-to-face event or if it's Quirks or the Auras, like Maddie just mentioned. So I started volunteering into this group of wonderful people, and tried to talk about Aura for me, what it's bringing me as an individual, as a client-side researcher. I find that even if an event is not really necessarily something to do with your sector or a research that you're doing, you always get something out of it, whether it's a new methodology, meeting a new agency, or just getting a bit outside of your own bubble. So I think for me, that was really the wide range of people and wide range of sectors. And as Maddie said, the Aura has 6 directors, and I've just volunteered to be one of them. So I'm really excited for what the future comes, I guess. If you can go to the next slide, please. So as I said, the face-to-face events are amazing. If they are in London, they are in the RFA, which is a beautiful building. So just for that, it's worth going. And they are led by clients. So it's not, an agency coming to pitch something to you. It's really a project that a client has worked with an agency and they come to present it to you. So it's not a sales pitch. There's none of that at Aura. And that is really valuable, I guess, because it lets you find out what other agencies do without having, the sales pitch, I suppose. And there's a very varied subject that are chosen, and they are chosen. If you find that you've got a really good project, you can come to the director and say, I would like to present. That's how it happens. And also when you attend events, you get to vote. And all the votes, they are accumulated, and that's the auras are basically given to the people that have done the presentation over the year. So that's a really lovely way of, rewarding people that have put themselves out, presented, and yeah, it's a really nice party. So that is something that is, everybody looks forward to it. And I think so that's some example of of the events that we've had this year. I don't know if it's too small for you, but hopefully you can see just the width of it. And as Maddie said, you can find either the recording of the webinar or the slides of the sorry, the presentation on our knowledge hub. So you can look for themes, you can look for dates, or you can look if you know exactly the presentation and you couldn't make it, you can catch up later. That's a brilliant way. And then I think there's one more slide. Yeah, well, I've talking about the awards, but it's been the last 3 years at the Oval. So again, a really nice venue, and it's just to celebrate all the wonderful client-side researchers that have sort of shared their research project with us during the year. So it's really lovely to end. Well, it's not ending because it's in July, but to to have that opportunity to gather around and celebrate the people that make a difference. And I think that's it for me. So, oh no, sorry. We still have a couple of events left for this year. So the next one is tomorrow. But if you haven't yet taken the opportunity to have one of our free events, you can join us. It is part 2 of the AI in Spotlight, but I don't think you need necessarily to have seen part 1 to appreciate what this webinar will do. And then the next one will be in January after the break. And as Maddie said, we have about one webinar a month, and then there's a few face-to-face events over the year. So that gives you a bit of a flavor of what's to come. And I think now I will hand over to Bogdan. Thank you.
Yep. Morning, everyone. So yeah, I'm Bogdan. I've been an Aura member since 2018. So I initially started the agency side, and now I'm on my third role, client side. So through all my organizations, client side, obviously, they've always been Aura members. So it felt like a heritage things, and I've always taken advantage of the membership. And the main things for me are the Knowledge Hub, because obviously no one has joined from the very beginning. No one has the time or actually managed to see all the webinars or go to all the events. So then you have everything that happened in the past. You have it all there. So whenever you're looking to do some research for a brief, or looking for some agencies or something like that that worked on similar things, you can always go on the Knowledge Hub and access the slides from there. And then the thing I like a bit better than the Knowledge Hub, I think, is the forum really. And you can get feedback from agencies, because all we get from agencies is basically their credentials and how good they are at wherever they say they are. But you can actually get feedback from other research users, both on agencies and methodologies, because you always have new things happening, like with AI coming up now, as for the event tomorrow, more things happening. So just seeing how others use AI, how others have failed using AI maybe, or any cautions really, and similar things like that. And I like to think that the forum is sort of like your neighborhood Facebook group, where you can just go in and check on what other people are doing, post a question, reply, offer your expertise if you see something coming up, or just do a random question on anything that's on your mind, research wise, really. So yeah, it's really nice. I think on the forum that you can really easily post anything or join discussions. So if you have I don't know, questions again relating to a brief or just a curiosity, maybe some feedback for an agency or looking for recommendations for agencies, you can go on to the forum, look for posts. If you cannot see anything that's of relevance to you, you can ask a question, and surely people who have had the previous experience, they will engage with your post, and they will offer you their expertise or advice. Then going forward, on sort of like some examples of what you can do on the forum. So as I mentioned, recommendations for agencies. So you see that loads of people post questions about different topics that they looking for recommendations when it comes to agencies, because best of my knowledge, there's no really a big bank of agencies sorted by topics or things like that we can easily access. So it's always easy to just post a question in, and then you see what other people say about agencies, and you also get the feedback where you can follow up with certain people and have a discussion on how they used the certain agency, how the project went, what lessons they've learned from it, and so on. And for other topics, another big one is brand research. So I know everyone's been or always with the eye on how their brand is doing, wherever the industry organization is in. And again, similarly, you can ask about methodologies. You can ask the best way to do things. You can learn from other people how they've used to do things in the past, how they've moved forward with, or how they've reverted back to some methodologies as well, and how to share that with stakeholders. So it's basically like you would have a wider team available to you who has done everything that you could have asked really before. And as I mentioned previously, the Knowledge Hub. So if you miss an event, everything gets recorded, like this meeting as well. So you always have the recordings and the slides available from webinars. The slides will also be available from any past events, so you won't really miss anything. And you also have all the webinars and events that happened to date. So even if it's not something that happened recently, you'll still be able to use the search function and find something that will be possibly relevant to what you're after. I think now we're going to see a video of what our members have said about using Aura in the past.
Thank you so much, Bogdan and Astrid. So hopefully my video works. If you can't hear it, please frantically wave. Fingers crossed, let's see.
I'm Dom, I'm an Insights Manager at Gusto.
My name's Caitlin, I'm a Research Manager at Principality Building Society.
My name's Lawrence and I've worked for Coca-Cola, HTC.
I'm Virginia and I'm a Senior Insight Manager at the UK Health Security Agency.
I'm a Senior Research Manager at HomeServe.
I'm an Insights and Research Exec at Owen UK.
My name's Viv and I'm the Research and Insights Manager at Caravan and Motorhome Club.
Your stakeholders often don't really understand what it is that they need. You should really always start all projects with the question, what do you need to be able to actually do with the insight?
Make the time to build strong and collaborative relationships with your internal stakeholders, because you can do brilliant research, but if you're not bringing people with you on the journey, it's really hard to create real impact.
Influence really comes from storytelling, timing and relationships.
Definitely stay curious, stay happy and willing to learn, and absolutely join Aura.
Something I wish I'd known sooner was how valuable Aura is. If I could give advice to anyone new, I would say make Aura part of your weekly routine.
If anything, I wish I'd found out about Aura sooner. It wasn't until 3 or 4 years ago that I started coming to the events and getting involved.
As a one-person team, I've often thought that Aura is very much like having a fantastic extended team. I've been able to bounce ideas off people, get inspiration, and hopefully give a little bit back
I get to see the best work that everybody's doing across industries that I would never have thought of. I have never met such a wide range of insights professionals, organizations, methodologies.
It's a space where you're not just learning from others, but growing alongside them.
You can bond about people who do the same work as you.
It's a safe space where we can ask each other questions without a sales pitch.
Aura has been a great way to connect with people from across the industry that I'd never usually cross paths with.
I think by nature, research and insights folk tend to be supportive and sharing, and Aura really does give us a fantastic platform, both in real life and digitally, to do just that. So happy birthday, Aura. Well done on the first 60. 5 members, 4 members, and here's to the next 60.
Thank you, Aura, and happy birthday.
Sorry, I think it was a bit fuzzy at the start then, but hopefully it came a little bit clearer. But yeah, something I forgot to mention actually is that incredibly, the Aura community is 60 years old. So hopefully that gives you some confidence in the value of it and how long it's been going. So in terms of wrapping up then, just gonna flash up this slide again. So hopefully that's given you a good understanding of some of the reasons as to why you should join Aura and the benefits that you can get from joining. But again, here's the summary of everything that's included as part of that membership. After this, we will follow up with the slide, and Julia will follow up with some more details on the next steps if you would like to make use of joining us for free for an event, as I think Astrid mentioned. So if you're not a member, you are entitled to come and try it out for free. So there is an event tomorrow and one in January as well, and you can see on the website the whole list of events that we've got planned. But if you think it's a no-brainer and you'd like to join now, then there's a QR code there, which we'll share as well after this for you to follow as part of that. But I will pause there and open up the floor if there are any questions. I'm not sure if we've had any as we've been going. I'm just going to stop sharing so I can come out. Let's have a look through. No, I don't.
I've got a quick question. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So, hi everyone. Thanks for the intro. I've got a question. I just saw the free list of things to attend. I'm thinking of joining, but the session that's tomorrow, I've actually got a clash and I can't make it. So I'm going to be one of those annoying people and ask, is the session available on recording for those who can't make it, at the very least, so I could get a mix of both?
Julia, do you want to take that?
Yeah, well, I can send you a recording. We don't normally do that. The recordings are normally on the Knowledge Hub just for members. But yeah, absolutely. If
it's
the
not too
event
much trouble.
tomorrow is something you're particularly interested in,
It really
I can
is.
send you the recording.
Fantastic. Okay, thank you.
And if you join Thomas, then you can see the whole host of AI-related presentations from the past as well.
Fantastic. Thank you.
I was just going to say there's somebody that mentioned. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to ask a quick question. If I've got 4 team members and there's a range of seniority, say, does it matter? Can our most junior members go along to all those kind of events and stuff as well? Because that's obviously a really good learning opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really up to you, how you use those 4 spaces. What we've found with teams with 4 members or more is that often people will sort of divvy up. I mean, this is just one way of doing it, but obviously, whatever works for your team. Sometimes people will divvy up throughout the year and sort of take an event each or maybe one a quarter and then use that insight to come back and share with the rest of their team and sort of really think through the implications of what they can learn from that to apply to maybe live business questions. So that's often like one way that teams do it. But yeah, absolutely, you can pick and choose who goes to what. But you all get access to the online forum and case studies as well.
Lovely, thank you.
And what we've done in the past, when I've been in teams of like 3 7 and now almost 20. And whenever someone goes to an event, we just present back to the team. So it's an opportunity for, if you have more junior people in the team, good opportunity to do some presentations as well.
Yeah, lovely, thank you.
And I was going to say, do we have a group for younger researcher? Is that correct?
We do,
Forgot it.
yeah. So one of the things we didn't mention actually is that occasionally we'll check in with members to, essentially sense check, are you seeing the right content? Is there anything more that you'd like Aura to do to kind of provide more value? And one of the learnings from our survey that we did at the end of last year, I believe, one of the learnings was around how people who were either slightly more junior or new to the industry would like more opportunities to connect with other people in similar situations to them and have a safer, even more safer space. Aura's already a safe space, but to connect with people who are maybe at the start of their career journey. So off the back of that, we developed a group on LinkedIn, which is specifically for people who are fairly new to the client-side insight world. And that has proven to be, something that they value. And so if you have team members who are a bit more junior or at the start of their journey, then we do have opportunities for you to kind of, for them to connect with people in a similar position. Yeah, great point, Astrid.
And we've had people just organizing ad hoc meetings, like coffee catch-ups on different topics. So if someone junior in the team also wants to catch up with people on different topics, they can obviously put that forward to people and organize a meet.
There's one thing that we haven't mentioned, but somebody in the chat mentioned, is the Working Well Together Charter. So I mean, I think the comment was just, it's great to see it, so it's nice to hear. But the charter is has been created to make working with agency better, I suppose. And there's 6 areas where we have worked with agencies and Aura, and then other people from the industry to try to see perhaps where there were friction points and where there were room to improve. And the charter has been put together, so it's something that you can use with agency when you start a relationship. But within Principality, we also started using it with our internal stakeholder, because sometimes they actually, at least for me, the more troublesome in the relationship, and it's really helpful, if you start with that when you start engaging with them on a project, and then just reminds them that it's about time, it's about respect, it's about working together, being an extension of the team if you've got a really small team and you work with an agency quite closely. So yeah, that is available for client side and agency to sign, to basically make it better to work all together as in industry.
Amazing. Thank you, Astrid. Excellent. Gareth, just seen you. Is that a question?
I was just asking Maddie if any of our team members wanted to volunteer to support sort of Aura events and things, like, should we come to you guys, or is there someone that we should go to for that as well?
Yes, great question. So there are always opportunities to volunteer, and they range from, I guess, being embedded into one of our committees or our teams, so they can sort of specialize in a particular area. So, for example, I look after member growth. We'll be recruiting more members over the coming months, so please do get in touch. Or there's also opportunities throughout the year if it's something that people don't want to commit to on an ongoing basis, where during busy periods, whether it's things like the Quirks event or certain kind of milestones, where there's opportunities to kind of help out on an ad hoc basis. So Yeah, I would say reach out to me or Julia, and we can best navigate depending on the kind of thing that team members are looking for.
Perfect. Thank you.
Amazing. Any more questions? Otherwise, we'll wrap up and give everyone a bit of time back this morning.
Maddie, can I do one more thing before we all disappear?
Yeah.
Can I take a screenshot of everyone's smiling faces?
The
Hang on,
dreaded.
let me close down the chat a minute so that we're on the screen. Okay. I'll give you a countdown.
If you don't want to be on this, feel free to go off camera.
Ready? Oh, has it done it? Sorry. Oh no.
Do you want me to do it?
Sorry, it just froze my screen. I don't know what it was doing then. Okay. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1. Thank you. I think that's worked. Thanks so much.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
You too. Take care. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Well done, everyone.
It was a bit shorter than expected, I guess, without the extra member. It went a bit quicker.